You don't have to be crazy to play the Halloween Gambit in an over-the-board classical chess tournament, but it definitely helps. And so this was my first tournament in 11 years, and I was determined to give it a try. So these were the first few moves. Got some knight mania going on, and then the Gambit move, knight takes pawn. Now, my opponent played knight to g6, which is one of the main lines. The other main line is if the knight were to go back, this would be the main line in that situation. With the idea of knight to c7, of course, and black's probably going to have to play king to d8 here, just so he doesn't lose his rook right away. And white can probably follow up with like bishop to e3. So then black can't even play e6. I mean a6. So that's what you get in that line. In this game, he played the knight to g6 immediately. So the plan becomes different. When this knight goes back, now the plan is to play bishop to c4 to attack f7. Queen up stops checkmate is one way to do it. White continues developing. So take. So now white's down a piece but has the bishop pair and lead in development. Knight to h6 is normal. Usually this is taken. Now, normal here is queen to d3 with the idea of f4, f5, and f6. And oftentimes black will castle here. And it gets to be a pretty good attack against the king. So the purpose of moving the queen is to get out of the way for the f pawn. In this case, my opponent played f5, which is a pretty rare move. Although the computer doesn't absolutely hate it, the computer was suggesting b6. I suppose to try to castle long, get that bishop out. But he played f5, so I took an en passant. Queen takes. I brought the rook over check. Of course, the computer liked the other rook, so I'd still be behind the f pawn. And he plays the king over to d8, and I played rook to e3 with the idea of doubling rooks on the only open file. However, black plays c6, and I went ahead and doubled knowing that d5 was coming, just hoping to free my bishop up with c4. And he played knight to f4, which was actually a really good move because the computer says I probably should have played queen to f1, but I played queen to e2, and now he missed his chance. If he played back to g6, but But check this out. This would have been devastating. If he would have played the bishop to h3, I can't take it because queen check and threatening mate, rook over to block, knight takes pawn check, king wherever, and the white queen's hanging. So you can't take with the pawn. If you push the pawn, you're just walking into this, forking the rooks, and that ain't going to be pretty. And so really the best defense, you also can't play rook takes. Because just knight takes rook, I suppose. Anyway, even with bishop here, the best defense is here, getting on the knight twice. But after this rook comes over here, you could get this position. But white's pretty much toast here. You got the maximum 4 pawn islands. That's just death. So we both missed that one, and he moved back, which gave me some life. I was like -2 in the computer, but now I'm like less than -1. So that move helped me a lot because it gave me time to play. It gave me time to play c4, get that bishop active again. So king over. Now finally I played rook to f3, queen to d6. I guess I need something to drink. My throat's kind of hoarse. Rook to c7 and king back in the corner. So okay, now I played c3, which was actually, the computer liked it too, because not only does it solidify the center, but it opens up my queen so it can get to b2. I'm going to grab some water. So here, you play knight back. The computer thought black should have really played c5 here, which is kind of funny because that's the move I should have played as white in my previous game. That I analyzed a couple days ago. But he moved back, which is a little bit slower, and that allowed me to play rook to e8. And finally, after fighting back, the computer says I'm plus 0.3. So it's kind of crazy that black has all these pieces on the back rank, but I don't know whether he didn't have many other choices. And so he also plays the correct defense by playing a6 because he knows queen's coming to b2. And then b5. Now here I played what I thought looked natural was a4, but in retrospect the computer says if I would have played h4 with the idea of threatening h5, so giving the knight a hard time, I guess, come out to g6. Now with the bishop back, this, you could get this line. And now the queen has to come over to guard the knight because the knight can't move. And then the queen comes over because the black queen's tied down on defense. And in this line, if you go down this line, white can stay about even, or like plus 0.2 or whatever, because black has such a hard time getting anything going. But anyway, I did not play that. So that was kind of interesting. I mean, a4 was going along with my plan I had. So now he plays the knight out. Rook takes, knight. And see, now in this variation, he's able to get the knight out. However, I get to pin it for the moment. Yeah, I played g4. The computer here like bishop to c1 or f1, but I thought, man, I'm going to challenge his bishop, and he played queen to f4, attacking my unprotected rook and pawn. So I played pawn takes bishop, queen takes rook, pawn takes knight. So I got 2 pieces back for the rook. Queen takes. So now I'm just down in exchange, but I'm up 2 pawns. So I don't know, it's pretty crazy. King up, pawn takes pawn, bishop back, rook to g8, and all of a sudden black's threatening mate in 1 with queen to g1. So brought my king over. He did not take my pawn. And there we go again. I should have paused my should have shut my phone off. Okay, you come up and check me again. Okay, now I'm getting back rank problems. So I played c4. Here, actually, rook to f8 would have been better to immediately get on that pawn twice. But maybe not so easy to see. Now he goes and gets on it again. But I get to activate my queen. Queen check. Check. Check again. I think probably better for black right here was queen to b4 check. But in any case, he played the rook down, and so I played the bishop here to cut off communication between the rook and the queen. Now he plays queen to b4. And so move the king back. He plays the rook back. And now I get a time to play queen to e5 check. King over, and I played f4. The computer really liked d5 right here. I played f4. He played rook over, and now I played a key move of d5. So the queen's guarding a1 for one thing. And he played queen to b3 check, king e2, rook check, king e3, queen takes pawn. And oddly enough, after all this, at move 54, the computer gives it as dead even, basically 0.03 if I play queen to e7. And the idea is if we're going to trade queens, at least you get a position like this where the king and the pawn are farther back, where we're both getting short on time. This ended up a 5.5 hour game, and we're both getting to be really low on the sudden death time control. And so I went ahead and played queen takes queen, not the best. I wanted to snag that pawn at all costs, and he didn't let me have it. So I played pawn to h3. He checks me, king back, check again. Trying to stay as close as I can to that pawn. Rook to g3, pawn up, rook back. And at this point, we were both short on time, and we'd been sitting there for quite a while. And the computer says this should be a win for black, but if black's going to win this, it's going to take another 30 moves. And I offered the draw, and he took it. So anyway, it was kind of pretty an interesting ending, with the draw pretty much based on the time. We had a 30-second increment, so if he could have played on, if he would have fought on, it was possible to win it. But anyway, that was my Halloween Gambit game, and I think that probably should certify that I am crazy, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.